2.
Currently at the port in Livorno, about to catch a ferry to Sardinia for a week. Welcome to episode 8 of the Vespa Diaries Euro Edition.
This episode starts in Pienza in Tuscany, where I then travelled to Livorno, caught the ferry to Olbia in Sardinia. Spent a week travelling around the island before heading back, making a brief visit to Pontedera to visit the museum. I then headed north to La Spezia and then on to Genoa, before crossing the border into France and staying in La Turbie.
I've taken a few ferries on this trip, and there's a couple of things that I've learnt that aren't always obviously apparent from the start. The first thing is that if you're taking your vehicle or motorbike on the ferry, you need to get there super early. I'm talking at least 3 hours before the ferry departs. There can often be a huge queue. You've got to go through customs and security. Once you pass through, they'll give you one of these stickers here, which approves the bike to go on the boat. You'll also then get a ticket for your room or your seat, depending on the way in which you're traveling. Once you get on the boat, they'll most likely strap it down. What I found with the Vespa is just to use this kickstand. Some other bikers gave me the tip that this kickstand is more secure than using the back stand here to keep the bike secure in transit. If you have an immobilizer on your bike, it might be worthwhile disengaging that once you park on the ferry. Otherwise, there's a chance that the alarm will be going off while you're in transit. When you arrive at the other end, you'll have a flat battery. After 6 weeks of mainly inland and mountainous locations, I thought it was time to head to the beach. This time I'm at a beach in Sardinia. As you can tell, it's nice and quiet. It's a Wednesday and it is packed, full of locals and tourists. Now, if you wanted a spot in the shade, you're in luck, but it's going to cost you 70 euros for the day. Parking is also a challenge. Some places require you to book your parking spot days, if not weeks in advance. But money and tourists aside, the water is spectacular. Aqua blue, nice and warm, just perfect. But it's a little too crowded for me, so I think I'm going to head back to the hotel pool.
Whilst the resort pool was excellent, I did enrol in a pasta making course, hosted at a local restaurant in the Olbia town. This was an excellent experience as it was hands-on in the culture, making traditional dishes that are local to Sardinia. And of course, at the end of the session, we got to taste our food, which was cooked in the restaurant's kitchen.
About an hour and a half from Olbia is a small coastal town on the western side called Castel Sardo. And it's this picturesque little town. What I like about little towns like this is I get to really explore the back streets with the Vespa. Normally going where it would be challenging or difficult to get to. I'm able to just take these little streets, go to random places, and just see where they take me. You never quite know the adventure that you're going to go on, and I guess that's one of the reasons that I wanted a Vespa in a country like this, is just to explore and see what there is and go where people normally don't get access to, and it's also really fun.
I took the Vespa for a spin on the SS125, a renowned highway for riding motorbikes and fast cars. But before long, it was time to leave the island and head back to the mainland.
I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty excited about this. I've arrived in Pontedera. The Vespa Museum is behind me. It's kind of like a pilgrimage, coming this far on my Vespa from London, France, the Swiss Alps, now in Italy. It would be wrong to travel through Italy and not come to this iconic and special location. Let's have a look inside. This place is amazing, and it goes to show how Vespas reshaped transport really after the war. 80 years on, the brand is still strong, and to see all these models here displayed is just amazing. All these Vespas to me scream fun, freedom, creativity, and just getting out there and doing something different. They're all completely unique, have been used to travel continents and countries, have been shown at fashion shows, have been designed to help in wars, and even feature in films. It's so cool to come to a place like this and see the collection all in one place.
And shout out to Jonas, this absolute legend who came up to me at the Vespa Museum and introduced himself as a fellow Vespa fanatic.
As much as I'd love to stay at this museum all day, I've got to hit the road. Now I'm off to La Spezia for the night. This is why you buy a Vespa ride, to come to beautiful places like this after dinner, just to take in the sights. No dramas with parking, plenty of motorbike spots, and you get to see some amazing scenery just as the sun is setting.
On my way to Genoa, I couldn't help but call in to Casso Bene's motorcycle store. It was a great pit stop and the staff were super helpful and interested in my journey. When I arrived in Genoa, I wanted to know more about the history and the origins of the town, so I enrolled a local guide, Antonio, to walk me around the streets.
So while I've been traveling around Italy, I've seen lots of buildings that are painted to look three-dimensional but aren't actually three-dimensional. And I took this opportunity to ask Antonio, like, what is that and what is that about? So you're saying it's a French term from the 1500s. What is the term that this is called, where they paint this on the buildings?
Yes, the French word will be trompe-l'œil. We never translated to Italian. We keep using over the years the French word, which is, I know it's difficult, but it's like that.
So it's a very common style of dressing up the buildings to make them look sort of beautiful, I suppose. But I love the phrase, but what does the phrase translate into?
Trick your eye.
Trick your eye, and that's exactly what they've been doing. As I've been riding past these buildings, I'm going, oh wow, that looks really like three-dimensional, and then I get to it and I realize that it's actually been painted on that, so it is to trick the eye. How cool is that?
Leaving Genoa, I continued my journey back to France, taking the time to explore the local towns between Genova and Monaco.